the irony that I just spent a few minutes trying to sort my face out before I talk about a film that is all about impossible beauty standards. The irony of that is not lost on me. However, no amount of straightening out my fringe or anything else I do is going to make up for the fact that right now I look every inch the knackered 42-year-old woman, because do you know what? That's exactly what I am. The Substance is an experience. Holy moly. In the last couple of years, I've seen some really interesting films. Some really edgy, and there's this whole thing about like, oh, there's only so many, a finite number of stories you can tell and everything's just regurgitating something else. And even Speak No Evil that I saw the other night that I really liked is a remake of a Danish film which was only out like 2 years ago. So Hollywood has no original ideas anymore, apparently. I would say The Substance is fairly original. And nuts. So it stars, I mean, really, in a way, it's got quite a small cast, but your main players are Demi Moore. I refuse to pronounce it Demi because I'm English. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. Qualley? I'm going to go with Qualley. And Demi Moore is Elizabeth Sparkle. She is a sort of icon of fitness and yoga, aerobicsy, sort of that Jane Fonda type icon, all leotards and smiles. But she is past her best. And the TV exec of the network that she works on, played in full slimy, sleazy glory by Dennis Quaid, basically tells her that her time is up and they're going to replace her with someone new and young and fresh. So that is it. She is on the scrap heap. And of course, Demi Moore is a very attractive woman. Has she had work done? Yes, she has. But for the age she is, she looks fantastic. She looks very Hollywood. However, in Hollywood, I mean, she looks very Hollywood compared to me, who looks deeply Kettering right now. But in a world of impossible beauty standards, of eternal youth, of, influencers and social media and all this sort of stuff, it's always about the newer, fresher, better, upgraded version. So she is sacked, and that's that. She finds herself in a car accident. Remarkably, she survives, but then she's in hospital, and a young, handsome, if slightly bizarre looking nurse slips something into her pocket. So as she leaves the hospital after this accident, which could have killed her but hasn't, she finds this thing in her pocket. It's a USB dongle thing with The Substance written on it and a number. And the piece of paper around it says, "This changed my life." I'm not giving too, I mean, this is like very early part of the film, and I won't give massive spoilers because I don't do that. So she rings the number, and a voice, mysterious voice, basically tells her, gives her some instructions, tells her what she needs to do. And before she knows it, she has gone to some shady part of LA, into a strange room. She's used a key card to open a deposit box, and there is this box. And in the box, she gets it home, she opens it up, and there is all this stuff. Injections, food capsules, stabilizers, instructions, and it's all vacuum sealed, and it's all basic black and white instructions like, this is what you need to do. So Elizabeth, desperate for youth and desperate for, to reclaim her glory, decides to go through with it, and she decides to inject herself with the activator. And so Sue, her alter ego, is born. And the body horror starts there, and it doesn't really stop for the rest of the film. So I cannot stress this enough. This is an 18 certificate film. And if you are faint of heart or weak of stomach, give it a miss, because this is intense. The rules of the game are, or not the game, but the rules of the system are that Sue gets 7 days, then they must switch, and Elizabeth gets 7 days. But of course, Elizabeth, when she's back to Elizabeth, she's desperate to let Sue out of the box again, because Sue is young and fit and perky, and my goodness, there's a lot of shots of Margaret Qualley's bottom. But I mean, to be fair, if my bottom looked like that, I would also wish to cover it in lycra and put it on a cinema screen. So the comparison between the two is that, you know, Elizabeth is older, things are starting to sag perhaps, as they do. It's the way of the world, it's the passage of time, it's nature. Oh, but with Sue, everything is just so perky and tight and supple. And she goes into the same industry as Elizabeth was in. She's the fitness expert. She's the face of the network. Dennis Quaid's sleazy exec guy can't get enough of her. Everybody wants a piece of Sue. But they have to keep switching. 7 days, that's the rule. But what happens when Sue starts to love this new, wonderful life so much that she doesn't want to swap back? What happens then? What happens to Elizabeth? And they're constantly reminded by the shady voice behind the substance that they are one and the same. They are not separate. I mean, they are, but they're not. They're two sides of the same coin. They are it's all about a balance between the two. So, yeah, it starts here, and then it goes up here to nuttiness, and then it goes up here, and then by the end of the film, we're up here somewhere. Like, it goes bananas, like full David Lynch, David Cronenberg, John Carpenter, like full old school, gnarly body horror. I mean, like I say, if you don't eat before you go, don't eat during the film, if you've got any sense. Just be very, very aware that this is not like your run-of-the-mill horror film. This is ballsy and brave and weird and scary, and like, it just really throws the harshest of spotlights on why are we so obsessed with youth, with chasing something. Why can't we just let ourselves age? I came to see Lee the other day with Kate Winslet, and Kate Winslet is aging. I mean, actually, she was technically a bit too old to play Lee Miller, because Lee Miller was in her mid-30s when she went out to the World War II, and Kate Winslet's in her mid-40s, but it works. Women should be allowed to age. I've never rated Demi Moore as an actress. I know obviously she had like a peak. She had a 90s peak with things like Indecent Proposal and Ghost. I've just never thought she was a particularly good actress. She was obviously sort of the ingenue for a while, and all sort of, you know, all the dewy-eyed, floppy-haired lovableness of Molly and Ghost, but it just never really washed with me. I was never that fussed. I just didn't think much of her. And I've said many, many times before that to get the Oscar, you have to go ugly. Nicole Kidman in The Hours, Charlize Theron in Monster, Halle Berry in Monsters Ball, anything where like really attractive women are willing to play ugly to get the awards. Now, this is not going to win. It should win some awards. It's not going to win Oscars because it's too out there and it's too crackers. But I kind of respect her for doing this, for saying, yeah, I will go ugly, I will go old, I will age, I will be naked. And there's a lot of nakedness, there's a lot of bums, there's a lot of boobs. But I admire her for going, yeah, I'll do this. I'll sort of, and obviously as a woman who's clearly had work done, it's very brave of her to go, yeah, I will show myself, I will be raw for this. Margaret Qualley, who I saw in Kinds of Kindness and other things, is superb as Sue. There's this, she's so beautiful and so fresh and so innocent, but there's this like ambitious rage under the surface and this desire to hang on to Sue and to not have to swap back with Elizabeth. Yeah, strap in. It's long, it's 2 hours 20. It zips by briskly, and before you know it, it's the absolutely didn't see that coming finale. Strap in. It's a hell of a ride. Yeah, that's it. I'll be thinking about it for quite some time, and it may haunt my dreams and nightmares. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Katie out.